we are privileged to have the 330i, and this particular car we're going to find out if number one still holds heritage of the BMW sporting performance, and of course does it live to the expectation of it being a proper handling vehicle. Let's get inside and see what this car is made of. Step inside the cabin of the BMW 3 Series and I can tell you for a fact that evolution has been the name of the game for BMW. Ever since the first BMW was unveiled in 1975, the 7 generations have shown that BMW are able to build the compact executive vehicles that people yearn for every single day. It's a reason why you work hard in the office, just to have that little bit of luxury. So step inside this particular G20 and I can tell you the evolution from the first 3 Series to now. It's there. You can tell this is a proper BMW. Of course, you do have the hallmarks. For example, you have an angled driver dashboard system that allows you to concentrate and see all the visible aspects of the vehicle, allowing you to control the vehicle without stressing. You know exactly where each and every knob and button is. Let's start with the center console. As you can see, on top you do have a tablet style design that actually houses a color and touch system that is very clear and precise, high definition HD, and it houses the media, climate control, navigation, and certain apps that you probably would need for your everyday use. Speaking of the radio, you do have a thumping audio system that sounds like this. You know, that kind of quality is good quality courtesy of Harman Kardon. That is the standard supplier of BMW audio. And obviously you do have quite a number of things. You can actually control the radio using gesture, so you just need to either circle like this and it will be able to react, as you can see, or reduce the volume. That is the beauty of the BMW technology pack. This particular car has the technology pack that actually also has the voice recognition system that allows you to control the certain aspects of the multimedia interface. So for example, what time is it?
It is 11:43 a.m.
So actively you can actually use the system to control audio, check out navigation, even find out who's calling you, or even send a text message for somebody if you're running late for a meeting. That is the beauty of having the BMW technology pack. Now, moving downwards, of course, you do have dual zone climate control that allows you to control the different settings within the cabin. So passengers and the driver alike can actually control the different temperature settings and be very comfortable. Moving down, obviously, towards the gearbox console, you do have quite a number of array of buttons and knobs that allows you to control also certain aspects of the multimedia interface. Obviously, you do have the main iDrive, which has been an evolution since 2002, and it has obviously the media, home, maps, navigation, and communications. You can control that either using a knob or touch. And obviously on the gearbox panel, where everything matters, you do have your traditional shifter. It's a joystick, and of course you have the ability to flex the muscle of that engine using the Tiptronic functionality. And obviously you do have a dynamic pack. This is the traction setting, so you do have performance setting of Eco Pro, Comfort, Sport, and Dynamic. And of course obviously you do have the start stop assist, which allows you to have a better time in traffic without stepping on the brake all the time. So as you can see on the steering wheel, it's a 3-spoke steering wheel. It's leather cladded and heated for those cold days. And obviously on the left hand side, you have the cruise control functionality that allows you to control the certain aspects of cruise control depending on the different circumstances that you're in. And obviously on the right hand side, you do have the media and navigation pack, which allows you to control the telephone, the media, the volume, and so much more while driving this particular BMW. Speaking of the seats, so comfortable. Big Boy is so comfortable. I can tell you, a lot of lumbar support, leg and headroom is fantastic, and you have multiple adjustable seats, up to 2 drivers. So you can actually have 2 drivers with different settings, and then the memory pack will allow you to set the precise position of the seat, steering wheel, and of course allow you to drive this car flexibly, especially during long distance. Obviously you do have quite a number of different leather touches, and Mr. Birig is going to give us much more about the back and of course the carrying capacity of the 3 Series.
coming to the rear of this 7th generation 3 Series, and it's important to note that they made the car a little longer and a little wider, and that made for a lot more space than the outgoing generation. This means that this is actually a very comfortable place to be in at the back here. Trevor is 6'1", and as you can see, I have a lot of space over here because this seat is actually set to his driving position. So in terms of space, there's loads of space available over here. You have, of course, some map pockets at the back seats over here. You have door pockets over here that are big enough to hold some water. In addition to that, there's a cup holder inside here, and there's loads of space for the stuff that you need to carry. In addition to all of this, because these are 40-40-20 split fold seats, you can actually access the boot through here. In terms of power, you have a 12-volt socket down here, in addition to 2 USB-C cables. So it means that every person sitting at the back here can charge their devices. If they need to stay cool, there's also now 3-zone air conditioning. So in the front for the passenger and the driver, and then in the rear, you have 1 zone over here, which you can control over here at the back. So to activate the park assist feature on the BMW 3 Series, you press the park assist button, which is right over here next to the gear shift selector. Then what you do is you just basically drive through the mall or the parking space that you're going for, and the car is going to look for a parking close to it. So it has found a parking space. So all you need to do to continue is just press the P on the screen. And then from that point, you take off your hands from the steering and also from the brake, and the car just completely takes over. So my feet are not on any of the pedals and my hands are off the steering wheel, and the car is just going to park itself. And we're done. That's it. So coming round to the back of the 3 Series, and we have a powered tailgate. This is not something that you really need on a saloon car, but it's nice to have, and it's a premium feature, of course, because this is a BMW. In here we have about 480 liters of space, which is exactly the same as an Audi A4, but just a little less than what you have in the C-Class. Because this is one of the East African variants, we have a full-size spare tire over here, and again, because this is the 3 Series, the battery for the car is in the back here. So let's take this on the road and see how it handles on tarmac.
I'm at the Camber Ring and I'm sampling the BMW 330i, the G20 edition. Now, 25 years of excellence from BMW building the 3 Series, 7 generations down the line, and I can tell you for a fact that this is still a BMW. So today, we're going to find out if this G20 330i is as capable as the previous generation, or it's gone a step and a notch higher. Let's talk about the power. Now, up front you do have a 2-liter 4-cylinder turbo. Well, I know, yes, it's a 2-liter, and we know 330i badges come with an inline 6, but times have changed. Now people are into providing vehicles that are more fuel efficient and have a lower carbon footprint for the globe. So BMW decided to put a 2-liter, and it's just not any other 2-liter. It's a 2-liter turbo with 2 sequential turbos that allows this car to accelerate from 0 to 100 in exactly 5.8 seconds, and of course it produces 190 kilowatts or 260 horsepower depending where you're coming from. Enough to accelerate like this. Now the power is sent to the rear wheels courtesy of an 8-speed ZF gearbox, which is very fast and very responsive depending on the driving mode that you put on. Right now I'm on comfort. When I do sport later on, I will show you that this particular car is very responsive, and of course it also allows you to explore the full potential of this particular engine, returning a good economy fuel figure of 5.8 to 6.1 liters per 100 kilometers. Now, in terms of handling, you want to ask, does this car feel like a proper BMW? Well, I can tell you for a fact, this new chassis, it's a modular chassis by BMW that shares the platform with the 5 and the 7, so it's scalable. It's called a scalable architecture chassis. The G Series actually has similar components. It feels like a 5 Series and also a 7 Series, very placid on the road. And of course, we're going to put it on sport mode. Now, sport mode allows this car to change its dynamics. So you have, faster throttle response. The gear shifts are also very fast and hang on longer to give you more power as you power out. And of course, the suspension also beefs up so that you're able to hug the road properly. Now, this allows this car to accelerate like this. So I'm just going to put it on. I'm going to slow down. And then I'm just going to give it some boost and listen to that. And of course, you do have McPherson struts up front, at the back of the Z axle, and of course you have the different nanny aids. On Sports Plus, you do have traction control that's partially off to allow you to swing the rear and still give you that grip that you need. So the acceleration is fantastic. I am doing 150 km an hour. Safety is very important in this particular category. Remember, this car plays in a category where the likes of the C-Class, Mercedes and Audi A4 reign supreme in terms of safety. Now, safety is critical. What does this BMW have? The G20 has a mix of active and passive safety features that allows you and prevents you from getting into harm's way. For the active part, you do have anti-lock braking system, you have dynamic stability control, you have cornering braking control, you have ESP, which is standard now. And of course, if all hell breaks loose, then you can rely on the multiple airbags, a 5-star chassis that dissipates impact energy away from the passenger cell, and of course, safety belts, which is the most important thing in your car. But it's more than enough just to talk about performance and power. How is this car to live with on an everyday basis? So join me, Rigi, and I as we do a value for money proposition from how much it costs to service this car into so many other things. So guys, you've just seen this particular BMW 330i perform on the Kiambu, and I can tell you, it still has that traditional BMW performance. Mr. Mirigi, tell me much more about this particular car. Do you think that BMW has continued the excellence when building the 3 Series?
Well, I mean, this thing has years of heritage. This is the 7th generation. You don't spoil something that's going right.
Yes.
They have sold 15 million of these things since 1975 when the first 3 Series came out. And this is the perfect example of bringing that into the 21st century.
Yes.
The technology, the driving dynamics, and the price are actually pretty incredible.
Speaking about price, how much is this car?
Well, this is the 330. Of course, now this is now with a 2-liter 4-cylinder, but now at a higher state of tune. These prices start at 8.5 million shillings.
Wow. And who are the key rivals for this particular car?
Traditionally, the key rivals for this are the Mercedes C-Class and the Audi A4. But it's important to note that as people are moving to compact SUVs, this is facing more competition from those compact SUVs as well. So you're looking internally at the BMW X3, externally at the Audi Q3 or the Q5 and the Mercedes-Benz GLC.
It's one thing buying this particular car, but the biggest question is, will you be able to maintain it? So today on Cars with Big Boy Trev, we're talking about total cost of ownership. How much does it cost to maintain this particular car? So Inchcape, who are the official dealers of BMW, will cost and ask you to pay 17,100 shillings for minor service, and it involves the following: change of engine oil filter, air filter, screen washer, consumables and labor. Now for medium service, which is done approximately after every 6 months, Inchcape will ask you to pay 27,558 for the following: engine oil filter, air filter, AC filter, screen washer, consumables and labor. And finally, major service that's done yearly, Inchcape will give you an invoice of 38,248 for the following: change of engine oil filter, air filter, AC filter, fuel filter, screen washer, consumables, spark plugs and labor. So if you think you can afford to do that, then this particular car is a car for you. And remember, it comes with a 5-year 200,000 kilometer warranty, a first from Inchcape Kenya, and of course you have an optional 3-year 60,000 kilometer service pack, depending on which particular package you pick for this particular car. Well, that's it, guys. Thank you so much for joining us on Cars with Big Boy Trev. As always, it's an honor and pleasure. If you have any questions, comments or queries, don't hesitate to write to us at on social media handles below, and we'll get back to you next week. Sending out, this is Big Boy Trev.
This is Mirigi. Drive safe
and be safe.